Hello everyone, Thomas Ronhaar here and welcome back to yet another league racing video
Oh,
on this
you
channel.
did make him go. Okay.
As you can see today we're here at Portugal for WOR number 5.
Oh, but now I'm
Um,
17, let's hope.
as we absolutely nailed that apex version. Heading into this race, I believe we are P3 as you can see right now, behind Caraton and Venom. Very close up front still between us three. And then there's a bit of a gap to Ruben, Nicholas, Luke, Duncan, Otis,
Oh,
Harley and
Milo,
Tomek.
there we go.
Um, yes, still all to play for in this championship. Heading to this race, pace look very good once again, and this is going to be our only shot in Q1 because I believe there's going to be rain scheduled very soon, and there's only going to be one opportunity for us to do our lap basically. So I'll take you through a lap right now of Portugal. Through to one, you have to be very cool with the track limits because otherwise you will invalidate the lap, but that's the last thing you want to do when you want to do a banker lap in Q1 and actually going to be your only lap in Q1. So you have to be very careful with the track limits. In general, this track is very hard track limit. As you can see through this corner, it's very tricky to nail those apexes and the X's, because if you go a bit too wide every time, it will get you invalidation. That's the last you want to do when you want to do your lap. Through this right-hander we go, doing a 7-6-6 split, which is not ideal, but I just want to get through into the next world qualifying, not taking any risks on exits and entries, because it's more fussy in the Red Bull, goes quicker for the 16.8, and we're going to come across the line each other 3 seconds, and I believe we're not going to go P1, as you can see Otis Lawrence does 16.7, we're going to go, I think, just behind him in P4, doing a 16.886, and that's gonna put us through into Q2 and seed us in rainy conditions. And this is also gonna be our only lap of qualifying, because the rain was gonna get so much worse and worse throughout the whole session. It was gonna go to full wet conditions. As you can see, turn 1, not even close to the apex, and that cost us about a tenth, maybe even more. So that was not ideal, but we are the first car on the lap at this moment. So if we could just probably get a lap in, it will probably be enough to get us through no matter what. Through the left-hander, through the hairpin again, not close to the apex. Power just wasn't a great lap at all, just making so many silly mistakes. Through the right-hander though, doing that pretty nicely. Could have used a bit more road. Yeah, in the general, this track is just so hard to hook a lap up, and if you make one mistake and you go too wide, that might cost you a shot into the next bar qualifying. Through this section though, we're kind of drifting through these sections because the rear end was not giving us any grip whatsoever. We were just sliding all over the place, understeering and oversteering at the same time, and it's not looking like a great lap, but because of the conditions are getting so much worse each second, each millisecond, it's not going to matter at all, because you can see in a few seconds time getting a bit more honesty in the final corner. Across the line we go, 25.575, and you can see at the end of the session, I didn't show it, but it was still P1 at the end by over 2 tenths. To I believe Otis was P2 behind us. I might be wrong. It might be Ismail, but that's on me. Into Q3, and once again, only one run. The conditions in qualify were so weird. In Q1, it was getting to monsoon conditions at the end when it was dry in the first part. In Q3, it was the exact opposite. It was very wet to start. And throughout this part of qualifying Q3, it started to dry up. You can see getting to that apex for once and getting on the power a bit easier, still a bit of wheel spin in 5th gear, which is not what you want to see. Through this right-hander, you can see I'm taking much more risk. I'm sending it this lap because this is my only lap I can do, and I need to put a good lap in to be able to fight for pole position here. As you can see, just about flat in 6th gear. Not sure what the car is going to do or how it's going to respond. So through the left under 55.6 split, which is a few seconds quicker than Max Whistle in P6. But he said his time about 5 to 6 minutes earlier. You can see now he looks quickest by 3 tenths, and then Daniel beat him by 3 tenths, and it's gonna be very close, I think, because you can see getting so much understeer in the final corner. As you can see, 22.647 is only pole by half a tenth, and we had much better connection than Daniel. So fair play to Daniel for that lap. He had a really good lap. Same for Esma Yannick and Alfie Butcher, our teammate, in P5. And yeah, pole position it is. I believe we in round 5, and this is my second pole position, or maybe third pole position. I'm not too sure. But definitely happy with the overall result. And yeah, just very happy with the lap. You can see I'm comparing a few laps with the guys. And yeah, it's gonna be a fun race. Gonna try and do my best, of course, to close the gap to the cars in front. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. As you can see right here, it's gonna be F1 Esports 2021 in China all over again. Because as you can see, it's gonna be wet for the start, but then it's gonna go to inters and then even gonna be clear towards the end of the race. So it is gonna dry up very, very fast. And we are opting to go for the intermediates and go for something different. And you can see in just a few seconds as we start the race, 5 red lights are gonna come on just a few seconds. You can see Ismail, Yannick, and Alvi behind us are on wet. And they're gonna have a fantastic launch. And you can see 5 red lights are out. And Daniel does not get the greatest of launches. But you can just see the Rebel behind us gets such a better launch. And I thought, oh, this might have been the wrong decision. You can see he has so much more grip around the outside. And we have to let him go for now. Yannick's been up to P3 from P4 on the grid. Alfie Butcher is still stuck behind Daniel and couldn't get past, unfortunately. Oh, actually, no, he does. I believe they're going to go side by side. And just trying to warm my tyres because these conditions are not fun at all to drive. You can see Esmel goes very, very deep. Even on the west, he was struggling at the start of the race. And the intermediates are kind of working, but also you can probably tell they are at this point in the first lap, they are a tiny bit slower. But I'm not losing that much time. They still have some sort of grip. And I knew from this point onwards that I was gonna have a better strategy than Ismail Fashti and the guys behind. We were on wet tires. If nothing goes wrong, me and Daniel Kilson will be 1-2 after the pit stop phase. If, like I said, nothing goes wrong. And we're just gonna have to stay as close as possible to Ismail and not let him pull away on, at this point, better tyres than us. You can see the gap is nearly 1 second. I don't mind the gap being just 1 second at this moment in time. Through the last corner, you can tell already the tyres are starting to come alive, and we're going to be closing the gap down from lap 2 onwards. As you can see with Esmina saying something in voice chat. There were a few people in voice chat that were talking about some stuff, and it was quite funny. But yep, focus on the race. Gap is around a second. It didn't really go high in that throughout this race. So we are on the much better strategy than the guys ahead and the guys behind. As I get a new strategy available, I think it was gonna go to wets. That's what at least the game told me to. But yeah, we are obviously gonna ignore that and let's continue on the intermediates. You can see I'm still struggling with the rear end. Can't put the power down in 5th gear in these conditions. Very hard to do when it's raining very, very hard.
What tires are Jake on?
As you can see,
What?
me asking what tyre Jake's on because he's championship leader and he's on wets. So he is gonna drop down very, very far in this race. And you can see on the bottom left, the light green dot. That's Jake Benham in P6, I believe, right now. Although he might be in the midfield, but I believe he's P6. So he is in that P4 for the Red Runners, but he's nowhere near P4 in the actual race.
Yeah.
Because he's gonna have to box twice before putting on in the dry tires, and you can see. Moving on to lap 6, you see some things are going on in the voice chat, and
That's fine. Well, I can't say.
couldn't concentrate for a few seconds. I found that quite funny.
Do you
You
hear them
can
as well?
see intermediates are way faster at this point,
Do you hear them as well?
and you can see on the steering wheel we are 4.5 times quicker in the first sector alone, and
I
we are
can't
going to
move
try
them.
and extend the gap to the cars behind, including Daniel
Oh,
Kilson
that's fine.
and the rest of the intermediate runners. As you can
Yeah,
see, moving on to lap 16, it is nearly dry. As you can see, it has completely stopped raining, and we have extended the gap to Daniel another 4 and a bit seconds. Our pace in this race was, yeah, one of the best races I've ever driven on this game, maybe even all time. The pace in these conditions was just so good that we just pulled away from the rest of the field, and basically stayed like this for the rest of the race. You can see
My pedal just got stuck on.
Alfie having some issues with his pedals and wheel,
Oh, now I can't shift up. It's time to retire.
and yeah, he's having issues, and I believe he's gonna retire in a few laps. You can see getting more warners here, and I'm gonna pit this lap. 4 mediums, and we are gonna go to the end of the race.
It's not
You
even
can
fast.
see Daniel and Harvey are, I believe, gonna follow us in. So is Mirko, Modesta Mena is gonna continue for another lap, and behind him is gonna be
Auto's is Ronhaar.
I don't know, it might be Tomac. That goes into the pits. Putting on medium tires, and we're gonna come out in P2 on track with only Modesto left to pit still. In P1, he is gonna have one of fresher tires than the rest of the field, and it might be a good decision because you can see the front end doesn't want to grip yet. And I thought, oh, I might have pitted too early, and this might be a wrong decision. But our tires are not warm up, not even close, and you can see the gap from this point onwards is gonna stabilize to Modesto. I think if I pitted one lap later, it would have probably been a tiny bit better for our tire life, because Modesto is not losing any time whatsoever to myself and Daniel. But you can see he was losing some time at the end of the lap. But we were just doing fast laps, after fastest laps, after fastest laps, for every single lap. And you can see, moving all the way to lap 28,
What
we
did
set
you say, Yost?
18.6, and I had a bet with Joost. He said it was possible to get the fastest lap, which he was correct in, but not at the time. Managed to do an 18.6 using all my battery. Gap at the end was 12.5 seconds. Absolutely dominated the race, and I am gonna take P1 in WR for round number 5 at Portugal, and taking the championship lead heading in towards the next race at Bahrain. I believe I'm not going to attend the next race. At France, I wasn't available at the time due to private reasons. And yeah, you can see the end result, 12.5 seconds clear Daniel in P2. Did a very good job with the strategy, and GG to him. Harvey Cowan from P10 on the grid gets P3. You can see P3 to P9 started outside the top 10. So it goes to show that those were the intermediate runners, and the guys below were on wets to inters to mediums. And yeah, very crucial in the championship as well. Both Alvaro and Jake outside the points, and that's gonna be very good for our championship. Not for Jake and Alvaro. Um, we are gonna be leading by a few points ahead of Jake. And yeah, very good race. Hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, make sure to like and subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Ciao ciao.